Hey, 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 hey. We are going live in just a minute. All right, Chris Harris, Safety Dog here. We will go live in 1 minute and 43, 41. You know, we're going live at 1 o'clock as per normal, kind of, on a Monday. We love going live on Mondays, talking about CVOR. And that's not the cardiovascular operating room. That's a different CVOR. CVOR, Commercial Vehicle Operators Registry, is what we talk about at 1 o'clock on Mondays. So it's kind of an Ontario only thing, but if you're here in Canada, hey, Chad Vance, Ready Check is on the line. Thanks for joining me, Chad. If you are in Canada, though, many of the things that I discuss here on the lives on Monday really pertain to you right across the country and really in North America, because we get talking about things like driver files and maintenance files. From an MTO perspective, yes, but most of the provinces and even in the States, DOT, they all require the same lovely things. So that's what we do on Mondays at 1 o'clock. So, hey, Chad, what's happening with you on a Monday? We'll see if Chad answers. We'll see if he's really tuned in or just, was kind enough to give me a viewer. But here we go. We are going, and we're talking today, or I will wait till 1 o'clock. There we go. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Secrets of Safety Dog, where we talk about CVOR on Mondays at 1 o'clock. So thanks very much for joining me. Today, we are going to be talking about policies and procedures. And Chad says, not too much. Let's see if I can throw that up there. Yay! Well, Chad, you're self-employed, and I know you do some other things as well, so you should be busy on a Monday. But hopefully you truthfully aren't doing too much and you're sitting back and enjoying the day. So, policies and procedures. MTO really wants you to have policies and procedures. And they've even gone so far in their safety manual to mention many of them. So what I did is I went through the manual, and I don't want to say that this is a complete list of everything that MTO said, but I went through the manual and I wrote down every policy that I could see that MTO suggested. And then at the bottom of my checklist that I made from that book, I added a few more policies that I think you should have. So we've got a list of policies available for you that MTO has urged you to have. Now, why do you think MTO wants you to have policies and procedures? That's the first question. You can leave an answer in the chat. The second question is, who else wants you to have policies and procedures? Well, let's answer the second question first. Your insurance company absolutely wants you to have policies and procedures so that they are evidence in court, should they need them. And so you need to be able to put together your own policy and procedure manual, and it really helps in guiding your employees in their job. So what is expected of them, and when, well, you'll see by the number of different things that are covered in the policy manual, you'll see we tell the drivers, for example, how we're going to discipline them and when we are going to discipline them. So your insurance company loves a policy and procedure manual. Your lawyer, if you are involved in a serious crash, or if you're involved in a labor dispute, is another example, you would be, well said to have a safety manual or a policy and procedure manual. And of course, MTO, when they come in for an audit, they want to see your policy and procedure manual. By the way, let's talk about MTO for a second and an audit. By the way, if they were to come in for an audit, the policy manual is not scored in the audit. Some of the results of the policy manual are scored. So if you're not doing certain things, that's scored. And I'll get into that in just a little bit. Now, before I show you my checklist, let's just chat very quickly about this list here. Oh, that's a little small. Let's see if we can't make it a bit bigger. There we go. So this is the Eld Approved List, and we have some new components or new people, not new people, Pedigree was there before, and their cabmate, but again, different versions and some new things here. But look at Omnitrax is on the list now. So they've finally got one of their devices on the list. So congrats to Omnitrax. As I say, Pedigree's been there for a while. Pioneer, Fleet Hawk, Keep Truckin'. These people have been there for a while. But you can see the list is finally starting to grow. And just by way of mention, I think you all know now, but enforcement is going to take place on January the 1st of 2023. January the 1st, 2023 is when the hard enforcement will begin. So they will begin handing out tickets on January the 1st. Happy New Year. Okay, so with that, let me go and show you my checklist. So this is a checklist, as I say, I put together by going through the CVOR safety manual. You all should have a copy of that. But I went through it, and a couple of interesting things. First of all, MTO says, why did we put the manual together? Well, it's to help existing and future drivers, managers, and operators of companies, bus companies, to understand the applicable legislation and safe operating procedures. And then they go on to say, and to encourage operators to abide by the legislation and to implement safe operating procedures. So that's just 2 of the 7 reasons that they published. But they also say here, the safety program or a plan is a written document. So they want you to have your policies in writing. It's a written document that outlines the safety practices and expectations for all employees within the operator's organization. So this would be a great document if you ever got into dispute with the labor board as an example, because you would have your expectations laid out, and if you dismissed an employee because they weren't meeting expectations, you should have had them sign for this manual. So anyway, some of the items, just very quickly, as you can see here, speed limit. A lot of these policies, you are told to write a policy, for example, a speed limit, and basically you are saying, hey driver, would you please adhere to the law of the speed limit? Now you may have a speed limit, many speed policies or something like, hey, you can drive up to blank if and when road and weather conditions permit, and you're never allowed to drive faster than the posted speed limit, something like that. All right, so seatbelt use is also in there. Drug and alcohol use, defensive driving. They want you to have a policy on defensive driving. Fatigue management, how to manage that. Load security, fueling, policies indicating that the driver are expected to comply with the laws. A policy and procedure related to driver training. Did you know that you are supposed to train your drivers even once they are employees of yours? So that's important. Driver responsibilities, what are they responsible for? Conduct and discipline, safe use of equipment, warning triangles, how to use them. Most drivers don't know how to use their warning triangles, where to place them and everything. So you really need to have that. Fire extinguishers, how to use those as well. And then PPE policies. Now this one, Sorry, the next one, I believe. Policies for ensuring the drivers are properly qualified. Well, properly qualified for the type of vehicle they are operating. This is where this is scored in an MTO audit because they are looking at the driver's license and the class of license and then comparing that to the vehicle that they're operating. Policy also needs to include a written statement to ensure that management is aware of all the critical items that affect the company so that they can respond to the problems as they arise. And of course, this may result in training. What they're talking about there is a driver. You need to have a policy that says, driver, you've got to tell us about all violations and tickets that you receive in both the company vehicle, the owner-operator vehicle, or any vehicle operating under the CVOR, and your private personal vehicle. Okay, what's this here, Chad? Chad, if the company doesn't have a training program, is that something you can help with? Oh, thanks, Chad. We'll just hit that one right out of the park. Yes, that is something I can help with. All right, I have an online training thing, and I also do in-person truck driver training, in-cab, and just general driver meetings on a Saturday. Thanks for that softball there, Chad. And again, so all of these things, I don't want to spend too much more time. I try to keep these lives short. You can see my list, and that's the MTO's list. And then we get down to the safety dog list. MTO does want to see an annual review. You need to get the abstracts. You need a signed release for the abstracts. You need to have a road test policy, and so on and so on. If you would like to have a copy of this checklist, there is a link in the show notes down below where you can request that from me, and I would be very happy to send that off to you. So, and thanks, Chad, for that softball. Chad of ReadyCheck is always supporting Safety Dog, and I'm thankful so much for that. And if you want to reach out to Chad, Chad has a product that I think is really cool. If you don't go past the 160-kilometer radius, and you want to keep track of vehicle inspections as well as the truck driver hours of service, you should look into ReadyCheck. And don't put the C in there. It's Ready, ReadyChek.com. And at least I believe it's .com, quickchad.com or .ca. But ReadyCheck without the C in their name, and you can check out Chad's product. It's awesome. Thanks, guys. You all have a great day. That's it for this week. Safety Dogs out.